When a girl realizes that she has the power, her attraction for you plummets. Hey guys, Bobby Rio back with Rob Judge, and we got another video for you. Today's video is, think of it as the anti-nice guy manifesto. And if you've ever heard the saying, don't put a girl on a pedestal or don't put the pussy on a pedestal, we're gonna break down what that means, and we're gonna give you real life examples of how to put that into action, what it actually means when you're actually with a girl, and why that idea, right, this idea of supplicating, subtly giving a girl a power or treating her like she's above you is probably killing your chances with a lot of the girls that lose interest in you and you're not quite sure why.
Yeah, and just a quick warning to anyone that was expecting politically correct advice, or if you wanted advice that sort of aligns with what your mom told you, this is definitely not the video for you. For any guy who's been out in the real world, who's talked to real girls, you know that this isn't a Disney movie, this isn't some romantic comedy where just being nice or just being yourself is going to necessarily get the girl. Like, you should definitely be yourself, but you should also understand how to sort of abide by the rules of dating, because whether you like it or not, these rules exist. And if you really want to give a woman the experience that she wants from a guy, understanding some of these little tricks and tactics and techniques really can go a long way.
Yeah, Rob and I are not going to tell you to just tell her how you feel or dress better, right? That's like the I used to hate when I would I would be searching, how do I get the girl? Groom, make sure you shave. Fuck you.
Yeah, make her laugh. Yeah, be funny.
So what is supplication? Supplication is when you treat a girl like she's above you, when you do things that give her the power. And I'll give you an example, right? I used to date this girl who was into hip hop. And before I figured this out, I was into like rock and heavy metal. She didn't like that kind of music. She was into like hip hop. So we'd get in the car and she'd always change the station to Hot 97. If you're from New Jersey, you know what station that is. And I'd immediately go like, I don't want to listen to this. But in my mind, she was more important than me, right? The fact that she was enjoying the music was more important than what I enjoy. And this isn't about chivalry, right? Like you always say, like it's not about not being a gentleman. It's about putting yourself and her on equal footing.
Absolutely. I mean, that's the thing. A lot of guys think that they go to one or two extremes. They either supplicate like a motherfucker, or they become this combative jerk off where they think they have to like say no to everything and never pay for a drink and don't, slam a door in a girl's face. And we're not saying you need, like, the thing is, it's not going to either of the extremes. It's just by understanding what supplication is and by taking the proper countermeasures to make sure that when you do something nice for a girl, it's being reciprocated.
So I'll give you a quick example, right? Should you buy a girl a drink in a bar, right? It's a question that both of us as dating coaches get all the time. And there's two extremes that Rob mentioned, right? There's the guy who, if a girl goes, will you buy me a drink? And he hasn't really even talked to her that much. He's immediately pulling out his wallet. Oh, yeah.
Or he just volunteers it. He walks up, let me buy you a drink.
So, and then there's the other guy who maybe he, heard don't buy girls drinks. So he's like, no, I don't buy girls drinks. And then you come off as like a cheap guy. A girl that might have actually been interested in you, right? Now she's like, well, what's this dude's deal? So how do you handle it, right? Very simple. Always remember, you and her are on the same exact level. That's the way you're treating her, right? Maybe you're slightly above her. But so if a girl says, can you buy me a drink? You just simply say, sure, I'll get you a drink. Here's what you do. You go get us a couple tables and that we can sit and talk, right? You just make her do something. It's very simple. A lot of times, guys, we want to please a girl. I was at a barbecue the other day, and some girl walks over to a guy, and she hands him her empty cup, and she's like, go get me a sangria, go fill my cup up. Now, this wasn't her boyfriend. She wasn't banging. He was just some guy at the party that she kind of like, and the guy gets up, oh, yeah. Oh. And he comes back, and I'm like, he thinks in his mind, like, oh, he just got some points. And I'm watching this going, you just totally showed her that she can just make you do shit. And girls test you. They want to see what they can make you do.
Yeah, what a little bitch. Because that's the thing.
I've been there.
Yeah, I know. We've all been there. And that's the thing is, me and Bobby, we joke around about it. But part of the reason we have such expertise in this area is because we suffered through all of it.
I was the guy getting the sangria cup. I was the guy thinking that if I remember in college, some girl wanted to buy a term paper. And the place where they sell the term papers is this like bad part of town. I'm like, I'll drive you. I drove her there. I had to pay for gas in my car. Yeah. I think I lent her money. I was doing all this stuff thinking that she's gonna like see that I'm this good guy, right? That's a nice guy mistake. And the reason that I said this is the anti-nice guy manifesto is because it's not about not being nice, but it's about putting just as much value on yourself as you do on the woman, not putting more value on her. We, for some reason, right, we want to believe that she's better than us, right? And it's partly because we, as guys, me and you were talking before, like we always want to feel like we're getting the deal, right? Like we want to go to our friends and think that we're with a girl who's above us. But what we don't realize is the girl wants to be with a guy she thinks is above her. She wants to go to her friends and go, oh yeah, like, but then what we're doing is we're treating her like she's above us. And the minute we start doing that, she realizes she has the power. And when a girl realizes that she has the power, her attraction for you plummets. It just drops, right? So Rob is going to tell you about something that we call putting a girl through hoops.
Yeah, like a hoop is essentially all stuff Bobby was talking about before. It's like a hoop could be something that she directly asks you, hey, get me sangria, something like that. Or it could be something subtle where she just puts, she changes the radio dial to something that she wants to listen to, and you just kind of sit there and accept it. So anytime a woman kind of takes the power position, does something like that, she's essentially making you jump through a hoop. Can
you hold my jacket, right?
Yeah,
you're standing there, you're a girl, like, hold this for me, and you're like, 10 minutes later, you're still holding her jacket or something.
Yeah, the other day I was driving down the street, I saw some guy holding a pocketbook. Yeah, I was like, what the fuck? It's just like stuff like that. That clearly was a large hoop a woman had asked. She probably at some point said, hey, here, hold my bag and walk down the street and degrade yourself doing this. Look like, I have your testicles in a handbag. So the idea is that, whenever a woman's putting you in that role where you're sort of supplicating to her and she's in the power position, you're jumping through her hoops. And the thing is like we said, we're not going to say you can't jump through hoops, but the thing is that you have to make her then jump through one of your hoops. And just very quickly, a very easy template to do this, to remember this, is whenever a woman you're presented with a hoop, the easiest way to sort of make sure that she's jumping through one of your hoops is you say, I'll do X if you do Y.
Yeah. Yep. Great. Like I said, I'll buy you a drink if you go get us a couple chairs that we can sit and have a good conversation with. Very simple, right? You're not making her do something stupid, right? I'll let you listen to Hot 97 if you sing me the first chorus of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air song, right? Like, you're just making her do something so that you're not just this chump bending over backwards that will do anything she asks of you, right? Because it's like you said, it's not about not doing things. It's about not coming across too easy. The worst thing you can appear to a woman is too eager to please her. Too eager to be nice. Nice is fake, right? Nobody is like inherently nice. Like if Rob called me up at 6 o'clock in the morning and was like, hey dude, can you come over and help me move furniture right now? I'd be like, dude, get the fuck.
You wouldn't do it, really? Really?
But on the other hand, we think if one of our female friends calls us up and we're like, oh yeah, I'll be right over because we think we're winning points. But in her mind, you're just reliable, you're nice, you're
predictable.
Eager, you're predictable, and that's gonna kill your chances. So what do? Instead, you create the hoops like Rob mentioned. You just make them do something. And to go a little further, right? And so Rob and I, we're as we mentioned, like we've been studying this stuff for a real long time. We understand a lot of stuff about attraction. A lot of stuff is very psychological. A lot of stuff is stuff that's going on in your own head. And when you realize these little buttons you can push in a girl, you can take a girl who might not even have been attracted to you, right? And you can get her jumping through hoops, trying to win you over. That's the key, right? You get her trying to win you over. The more a girl is like doing things to sort of impress you, or like she begins convincing herself, I must really like this guy, right? And that's what you want to get her to do. So how do you do it? Well, we created a video below where we teach something called the scrambler. Now, if that seems a little sneaky, a little nefarious, it is, right? It's pretty awesome too.
Yeah.
Because we lay out exactly what you need to do, right? To kind of dangle the string and make the girl chase it, right? And the more she's chasing it, the more she's chasing you, the more she's working to win you over, the more she's fighting for your approval, the more she's falling in love with you. And that is the real reason girls fall in love with assholes or jerks. It's not because these guys are like mean to her. It's because she's constantly trying to win their approval, which commitment and consistency. It makes her fall for them. So check out the video below.
Yeah.